Hello everyone, how are you doing? We are here in Serekunda in the Gambia where we have been for the last 10 days or so, I think, editing the video and waiting for a parcel from Finland. And finally today it arrived. And here is where we have been staying. This is a restaurant of our guest house. Here's the toilet, and then here is the familiar tent and the bicycles. So this is just perfect for us. We have our own little quiet space here, and Peyman is over here trying to put some Insta stories. Apparently there's some problem with the internet or something, which is not unusual.
Very slow internet. I need to post one thing, but it's not ending.
But anyway, now we answer your questions.
Hello from my part also. So if you remember, a while ago we did post a question in our Patreon page asking you which kind of question you want to ask from us.
First, Brad had a few questions about our cycling and our schedule. He asked how many kilometers do we usually cycle per day?
Let's say, but really depends on a day, on a train we are cycling, and on many things. But let's say average can be around between 60 to 80, yeah. But some days we cycle 20, some days we cycle 150, so it's just...
Yeah, it really depends on many things, but mainly how easy it is to cycle. Like in Sahara, when we were on the coast, we had such a great tailwind and there was like nothing holding us back, so then it was really easy to do like 100 kilometers in just a few hours in the evening. Like we waited usually till the evening when the sun was down a little bit, and then we could just cycle when it was a little bit cooler, and we could make really quite huge distances in a short while. But then here, now lately, it has been quite hot and quite humid, so it has been heavy to cycle. So then we have like a few hours when we can cycle in the morning and a few hours when we can cycle in the evening. And we don't have, for example, that kind of support of a tailwind. So then we have been cycling like 40 maybe.
Yeah, something like that, yeah, 40, 50, yeah. In a midday when it was hot, it was really difficult for me to cycle, and because of this rash I had, but now it's better, and we will rock and roll much more better from now on. That's really good.
Yeah, so sorry, Brad, and I know this is a question we get quite often, so I know many people wonder about it, but we really don't have a good answer for it, just it depends.
Yeah,
And how many hours, he asked, including breaks? Well, what I said, now we have been cycling maybe 5 hours including breaks.
No. We start at 9 including breaks. We are like on a road, maybe from now, from St. Louis. We've been on a bicycle at 9 a.m., around 9 a.m., and we stop at around 6 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly, but then there's a long break during the day. Yeah, but from, let's say from 8 to 12, well, yeah, 4 hours. Yeah. And then from like 3 to 6 maybe? 3 hours, 7 hours?
Yeah.
Something like that.
6 hours, yeah. But between this we have each 1 hour, we have maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes of break, something like that.
Yeah. We try to like stop as often as we need to have a drink and eat something, so that we don't get like a heat stroke or something. Yeah. So
also recording is like we basically record almost every day. So yeah, that also it takes quite a bit of time.
Yeah, maybe 1 hour per day or something goes for like recording or taking a picture or something like that.
Yeah.
Papa, and how many days per week are you on the road? When we are on the road, I would say 6 or 7.
Yeah, we just don't stop, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 maybe. Maybe 1 day a week we stay somewhere for 2 nights, maybe. Yeah. But then we move, like, you could maybe call it a rest day if we cycle 20.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I would say 6 days per week.
Yeah.
when we are cycling. Now we are not, so
Yeah.
it depends. And then, how long does it take to edit each of your videos?
Some videos they take a little bit longer than others, but maybe average around 4 and 5 days per video. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we edit, like, I do the main part of the editing. We work together a lot, but I'm like kind of the project manager of the editing process. So I would work like from morning till evening for like 4 days on it, and then we would work together for the last like maybe 2 days. We work together.
Yeah. Editing process goes like this. Basically, we need to select the files, rough edit, and then after that we edit it fine editing, let's say call it, and then at the end we do the sound, and if it needs video needs a voiceover, and then after that we write the beginning, ending, and we record the ending part of our videos. Then that's it. Then after that we publish it.
Yeah. There are quite many steps because we have so much footage, and like the story we tell is so long. It's like usually over a few weeks that we tell in like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So it takes quite a lot of work to build like a story that makes sense and that's interesting and has a storyline, or we hope it's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it takes so long.
Yeah, also we are trying to learn and get better with the recording. So as much as we get better with the recording, that means the editing will be shorter. We hope we reach to that point which we can edit one video in 2 days. Well,
Yeah.
that is a dream, to be honest.
No, but I have been able to edit some videos in 1 day, actually. If it's like a short enough period of time. Then it makes it easier.
Yeah.
If the story is long, it makes it harder. Thank you, Brad, for all of your questions.
Yes, thanks so much.
Okay, and then Humaid, I think, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, is asking how far in Africa have we reached? That should maybe have been the first question.
So, Humaid, we are in Gambia now.
Yeah, we are in the Gambian coast. If you look at the map, you see it's very short, so it's quite a specific answer.
Yeah. Serakunda area.
Serekunda area in Gambia. And next up is Senegal again, and then Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
And then Alexi asked which kind of psychological effect has the trip had on us, and I find that quite an interesting question. And I was thinking about it, and of course there's no like easy answer because this is like the last like 15 months of my life, so it's not like it's much more than just a trip. But I would say I have like gotten used to this way of life in a way that it doesn't feel like a trip anymore in that sense. It's just like how my life is, how I live my life. But for me the most, I think, difficult thing is to do with our like social media and what we are doing on social media, because I feel like whenever I'm not working on something to do with our social media, if I'm not editing a video or if I'm not writing an email or something, I feel like I should be doing that. And it has taken until kind of like now that I feel like it's okay for me to do something else for 2 hours. Because we are always doing something, we are always cycling, or then we have a break to edit, and then I feel really bad if I'm doing something other than editing, which of course I do. I'm not working 24/7, but it's just that kind of same kind of like guilt feeling I had when I was studying, that you feel like you're supposed to study all the time. So now I feel like I'm supposed to work all the time, which I know is not true, but it's difficult to put a schedule because we are only working with ourselves in that sense. So we only need to ourselves decide that, okay, for example, at 7 o'clock in the evening we stop working. And the positive effects, of course, are huge. It's like amazing to sometimes stop and realize like how far we have come, both in the speaking of the distance, but also like how much we have done with our social media and how far we have come like as people, grown as people, and in our relationship and everything. That's amazing. and I feel maybe now more calm. That's maybe another thing like I have learned, that the world is not as scary as you think it is when you are at home, but when you are out in the world, actually things are not that different. Nothing is like a complete catastrophe, and there's always a way to solve any problem or something like that, so that's nice.
I would say that, let's say first the positive thing which have had effect. First thing I would say is the people. Like each person we have met have taught us so much. I have learned so much from them, and it is incredible how human being is kind. I have to say this, and yeah, I just have learned to try to be kind as much as I can kind to people, because so many people have been so kind to us in this trip. Like I, there have been people they offered us a food which I really knew and we really could feel they are not sure for tomorrow they have a food or not, you know. And in a way it was like if we wouldn't take it, you know, also it was awkward, or if we would take it, it would be you know, it was. But yeah, they taught us a lot. They taught us so much. Other thing is really interesting thing is like here we went to one shop, like a small shop, and we were so tired the other day. It was like in the street, the guy was selling some second-hand clothes from Europe, and he just came and complained to us. Said, "Why when you come here, you don't come and say hi and you just look at the clothes?" I was like, I said, "Yes, I'm really sorry, but we were really tired." But this is exactly a thing. For example, we don't do never in Finland. In a way, I mean, if you go and you greet people just when they don't know you and you smile, someone says, this is very weird. Why you smile in the street? Why you tell me hi, you know? Not everyone, but of course, this is not a common culture, let's say. But here, it's common. If you don't do, people are, why you don't do that? What's wrong with you? But in Finland, if we do that, people, they say, well, what's wrong with you? That was really interesting. I really feel the negative thing. It again comes to humankind, I think. I feel the humankind have used the nature so much, and we really, in a way, can see when we travel slow. And I really feel like nature is shouting, "Come on, I gave you so much. Can you give me a break? Can you a little bit respect me? Can I live beside of you?" But no. This human doesn't do that really. So, but I hope it gets better, this issue in the world. But yeah, I really, to be honest, I have to say, yeah, maybe a little bit I lose the hope, but still I hope. Yeah, I need to say that. Yeah.
Maybe one positive thing that's like more about like emotion and things like that is like when we learn and we see what really makes us happy. For example, if we are cycling and we take a break and we find a restaurant that has cold water, and that's like the best thing, and we are so happy and so satisfied because we got cold water. Things like that, like we see what really matters. That has been really interesting to see, which kind of things makes me really like satisfied and content and happy. Just a peaceful place to sleep, water, cold water to drink, cool spot under a tree, and like it doesn't. Living a simple life means that you also find like happiness in the simple things.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, I noticed this in my first bicycle trip I did. I live with so less stuff and so happily. Then I went back to Rovaniemi in Finland to my room. I have so many stuff. I really don't need them. You know, with 35 kilograms of equipment, I lived happily from plus 40 till minus 5. And I cycled from Arctic Circle till Portugal with just 35 kilograms of equipment, and I was the happiest person in my opinion. For myself, I was really, I was very happy, you know. And I just came back and I said, like, come on, why I need so much stuff in my room. This trip always teaches, I think, us to how simple things are matter in a life, which when we live in a town like Helsinki, we forget those. And then I feel you look for a happiness in somewhere else, you know, but it's so simple, you know, like having it just a cup of tea, it is so nice. It's just amazing, you know. But you appreciate that, like, when you don't have it, you know. We go every day, we collect our water when we are cycling, every single day. And when we find the water, you say, nice, you find the water, you know, fantastic. Okay, for 3 hours now we have water. But in Helsinki, no, I go and I open the tap and I just, half of the water goes to the sink and half of it I drink, and I just don't even enjoy of it, you know. I just don't understand the value of the water.
It was interesting what one American volunteer we met, what she said was like, and she had been speaking to the people like in the villages, and kind of an attitude there is when she has been trying to explain that it's not like people commonly believe here, that everyone in Europe and everyone in America is super rich and like there's no worries in their world, and like that's a very common belief for people who haven't been to Europe, for example. But and when she is trying to explain that it's not like that, there is a lot of like misery and unhappiness and poverty also in Europe and in the States, then sometimes it makes people very confused. What do you mean? Like, they have washing machines, and that's something we don't even like think about. We take it quite for granted. Like, you have a washing machine, if not in your apartment, maybe in your building. And here in the villages, that's like such a luxury. You don't need to spend 1 hour or 2 hours every day doing your laundry. That's what's considered like happiness, and then you can be content if you have a washing machine. But then when we have the washing machine, we just forget about that, and we find the next thing to strive for.
Yeah, we don't need to make the life too complicated, let's say like this. It's like a really, no matter which kind of home you have, in which part of the town, how much it costs, like in 1.5 meter to 2 meter place, that is the area we will sleep. That's it. For your answer, Alexi, we can talk for hours. I hope we could answer some part of it at least now. Thank you everyone for all of your questions.
Thank you so much, and always feel free to comment on our Patreon. We answer as often as we can, and of course send messages also. We love to hear from you anything to do, like which kind of content would you like us to make, or any feedback to improve our videos, or something, whatever, storytelling, whatever you would wish.
And we wish you a fantastic day and evening, and see you next time.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.